Imagine working day and night, saving every coin, every drop of sweat for something you've dreamed of for years. Now, imagine finally holding it in your hands, the one symbol of your hard work, and in a flash, cruel hands take it away, reducing it to ash. This is the story of a quiet farm girl whose life took a turn the night her new car was burned by bullies. What they didn't know was that seconds later, the ground beneath them would shake, and not because of the fire. Stay with me until the end, because what happened next is something you'll never forget. Emily Carter was known in her small farming town as the Quiet One. She was 19, lived with her widowed father on their humble farm, and spent most of her time working in the fields or helping at the local diner. She wasn't the kind of girl who sought attention. In fact, she avoided it. But there was one dream she carried since she was little, a car of her own. Not just any car. For Emily, owning a car meant freedom. It meant she could drive her father to the hospital when his back pain got too severe. It meant she could finally stop walking 5 miles to work every day. It meant she could feel, even for a moment, that she wasn't just a farm girl stuck in the cycle of hard labor and poverty. So, she saved. Every tip from the diner went into a jar. Every chore around the farm reminded her why she was pushing herself so hard. After 2 years, she finally did it. The day came when Emily drove home in her first car, a modest used sedan, silver in color, but to her it was as beautiful as a brand new luxury ride. Her father smiled with tears in his eyes, telling her he hadn't seen her this happy since she was a child. But happiness often draws envy. At her diner job, the local troublemakers noticed 3 boys, Tyler, Jack, and Brent, sons of wealthy landowners who always looked down on Emily for being the poor farm girl. They sneered when they saw her keys dangling proudly from her apron pocket. "Look at little Emily with her shiny new toy," Tyler mocked. "Bet you begged 10 farmers to scrape the money for you." Emily ignored them, as she always did. Silence was her armor, but her silence only made them angrier. That night, after a long shift, Emily walked out of the diner with a smile on her face, ready to drive her car home under the stars. But her smile froze. Her heart dropped. There in the parking lot, smoke curled into the sky. Flames licked at the silver paint. Her car, the dream she had built with her sweat and sacrifice, was engulfed in fire. She screamed. The sound tore through the night. People rushed out, but it was too late. By the time the fire was out, all that remained was a blackened, twisted frame. Behind the crowd, she saw them, Tyler, Jack, and Brent, laughing. Brent even tossed the lighter up and caught it. Her blood ran cold. They didn't even hide it. They destroyed her dream in front of everyone, and nobody dared stop them because their families had power, money, and influence. Emily fell to her knees beside the wreckage, tears streaming down her face. But the bullies didn't see what else was rising inside her. It wasn't just grief, it was something deeper, something they had never seen in her eyes before. What none of them knew was that Emily wasn't just a quiet farm girl. There was a past to her silence, a reason she never fought back. And that night, when the fire stole her dream, it also unlocked what she had been holding inside. Seconds later, as Tyler, Jack, and Brent moved closer to mock her, the crowd gasped. Emily stood, her hands trembling, but not with fear. Something changed in her posture. Her back straightened, her gaze hardened, and her silence broke. Enough. The word was quiet, but it carried more weight than the bullies expected. Emily's voice, soft all her life, now sounded like steel scraping against stone. The boys chuckled. "What's a poor little farm girl gonna do? Cry harder," Jack sneered. But they didn't know that Emily's uncle, before he passed, had been a decorated military officer. And when Emily was younger, he trained her quietly on the farm. He had taught her how to hold her ground, how to fight if she ever had to, how to use strength not for showing off, but for survival. She had never wanted to use it. She prayed she never would. Until now. Tyler moved first, shoving her shoulder. "Go home, farm trash." In the blink of an eye, Emily's hand shot out, gripping his wrist, twisting it until he dropped to his knees with a howl. The crowd gasped. Nobody had ever seen Emily move like that. Brent lunged forward, but Emily sidestepped, grabbed his collar, and pulled him forward with his own momentum. He hit the ground hard, dirt clouding around him. Jack tried to swing at her, but Emily ducked, using his weight against him. Within seconds, all 3 were on the ground, groaning in pain, stunned by what had just happened. The silence was louder than the crackling fire had been. Everyone watching stood frozen, not believing their eyes. Emily, the quiet, shy farm girl, had just brought down 3 bullies twice her size in less than a minute. Emily stood over them, breathing heavily but steady. Her eyes glistened with unshed tears, not from fear anymore, but from the heartbreak of what she had lost. "You thought burning my car would break me," she said, voice trembling yet strong. "But you only lit a fire inside me that you'll never put out." The sheriff, who had arrived after hearing the commotion, saw the boys on the ground and the burnt car. Witnesses spoke up. For once, people found their courage and told the truth. The bullies were arrested that night. Their powerful families couldn't shield them from the evidence. The lighter, the threats, the crowd that had finally stepped forward. Emily's car was gone, but something far greater was born in her that night, her voice. She was no longer invisible. The whole town saw her not as the quiet farm girl, but as the symbol of resilience and strength. In the weeks that followed, the community rallied for her. Donations came in, enough to buy her another car, even better than the one she had lost. But Emily no longer cared just about the car. She cared about the lesson that burned brighter than any flame, that even the quietest soul has a breaking point, and when pushed too far, silence can become the loudest roar. And that, dear friends, is why you should never underestimate someone just because they seem quiet, humble, or small. Emily's story reminds us that strength isn't always loud. It's in the patience, the endurance, and the courage to rise when life knocks you down. Stay strong, stay kind, and never forget, every quiet heart has a fire waiting to be lit.